Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. So in this video I wanted to speak to you about my thoughts about Rocket Lab share price, my predictions for the share price in 2025, and what do I think is priced in to the stock. As you know, I've been on a break because of baby number 4, and I have kept up with the Rocket Lab weeklies, but then we sort of give the group opinion. So I thought it was like time that I address what are my thoughts about Rocket Lab stock and the recent price movements. And if you're here, thank you very much. Please make sure that you are subscribed and you press the like button. And if you want to go ahead and support the channel, there's a link in the description box below where you can become a channel member and support the channel there. So Rocket Lab, we have been on an insane rally. I don't know what way you can describe it. These arrows are the places where I bought Rocket Lab, and I was stupid enough to sell an $8 covered call when we had the Japanese yen scare. I believe it was somewhere here. I didn't sell it on the day. I sold it after the earnings on the run-up. And I thought that we have been in this channel, and at that time, it was like, yeah, the market ran so much, a pullback should come, and I don't know what I was thinking, because at the same time, I was making videos that Rocket Lab might be a $25 stock. So yeah, that was clearly a very bad decision. I can report to you that I managed to roll that cover call all the way up to $15, and the expiry on that is January 2026. So because you know me as an investor, if you follow the videos, I really like to buy stocks in companies that are misunderstood by the market and that I very long-term believe in. So another stock that I bought was Palantir. I started buying it in the $12, I bought at $10, and I bought at $8 and $6, and my cost average is around 8 something, and the stock is up around $60 now. And just as with Palantir, with Rocket Lab, when you are able to buy the stock that low, you are taking out a lot of risk from your investment because the stock is priced so low, right? So there's nothing like the market price is in so much bad news, and basically the price of Rocket Lab when we were down in the fours was like a launch provider, and I think you were getting the space systems for free, because when we were down in the fours, the market cap of Rocket Lab was like 2 to 3 billion, and Relativity, which at this point is a failing launch provider with 0 successful orbital launches, was valued at 4.5 billion. So you were basically buying a launch company. You got space systems for free, and you basically had a call option on their space infrastructure. So it was almost like the company was priced on half bankruptcy. I wouldn't say it was priced for bankruptcy, but it was like it was a coin flip if the company survives. So when you're buying the share price that low, you have taken out so much risk from your investment, because the company just has to say we're not going bankrupt, and the stock price will skyrocket compared to what you bought it at, right? And then you have to understand that the stock is very different from the company. So the company can be an amazing company, and the stock can be overvalued or undervalued, and it's not the same thing. So I'm insanely bullish about Rocket Lab as a company. And now it's a video about the stock price. And the reason why I think that it's important, because for some reason, when Palantir was down at the 8s, no one was giving an F about my videos and, all the really great Rocket Lab creators videos. And we were all buying, right? And then somehow when Palantir went to the 40s, 50s, like that's when the major interest comes in, and everyone is suddenly interested about Palantir. And I feel that Rocket Lab, because it ran so much, we have a lot of newcomers to the stock. And yeah, I just think that this is an important video, and again, these are my views. Only don't use this as financial advice. So if you have been following the channel for quite some time, then you know that I usually like to model out how my companies are going to perform. You can see that I do it on a quarterly basis here. This is like backwards looking. And then on a yearly basis, I estimate what the revenues and certain parts of the company are going to be. And then I like to look at 10 years into the future, sometimes even longer, and basically take a PE multiple at that time. I don't like to do DCF valuations. I know how to do them. I haven't done a lot. And I feel like for me to properly do them, it takes so much time. And I feel that this method basically gets you almost to the same point. And no valuation is ever going to be 100% accurate. The question is just how wrong you are going to be. And let's say that this table is 95% correct. If I would spend 2 days to do a proper DCF on Rocket Lab, maybe then the valuation would be 98% correct. And I don't feel like it's worth the time investment to get, because I anyways get the ballpark of where the company is. So these are just important disclosures. And by the way, if you are a channel member, you do have access to this table. So when I was buying Rocket Lab, this was my valuation. And basically I had a few versions of valuations, and that was, as you can see, Neutron launching in 2026 and Neutron launching in 2025, because I wanted to see what difference it makes on the stock price if Neutron is delayed, right? And theoretically, there's a non-zero chance, even though I would consider it zero, that Neutron even comes in 2027, right? But I felt that it was so low that I didn't even model that out. And when you click here, you can see in 2024, I first counted with 22 launches at $7.5 million per launch. In 2025, I was counting with one paid Neutron launch and 25 Electron launches. And here you can see my estimates for Space Systems. And on Space Systems, what the heck is this table doing? So on Space Systems, I was counting with a 25% revenue growth, because Rocket Lab is not making it easy for us, and they don't really guide on Space Systems. They guide for the launches that they're going to do, but they even said that they stop with that. And on this very old calculation, I came to that in 2030, the stock was going to be $19, and if I discount that by $9 per year, then the stock was worth $11.66. And you can see here that when I did this, the current stock price was 7.2. And this was a very, very bearish calculation, because it doesn't give any real value to Rocket Lab Space Systems venture. And if Neutron would launch in 2026, instead of in 2035 the stock being worth $19.50, it would be worth 16.92. And still, if you want a 9% return per year, then the stock should be at $9.26. And at the time when I did this calculation, the stock was at $4.8. Boy, do I miss those times. So you can see that it was so much risk taken out of it, because to get this valuation, I was giving zero value to the Space Systems that they're doing, to the space infrastructure that they want to do. And it was very pessimistic Neutron numbers, and everything was very pessimistic, and the stock was still a screaming deal. Now, I decided when the market started rallying, I was like, okay, I want to see what kind of number I can put on the space infrastructure, because I believe that is the one that is going to be the majority of Rocket Lab's value in the future. And I didn't feel that it was correct to not give any value to that. So I made this table, and you can see it's still with two versions, Neutron coming in 2025 and Neutron coming in 2026. And the way I did it, again, I try to simplify things, is in 2028, they are going to have one space infrastructure that gives them $150 million a year. And I was trying to not even go into what is their gross margin and profit projections. I was like, okay, price to sales. So if we assume a 10 price to sales multiple on 150 million income, then it gives you an additional 1.5 billion in market cap to the stock, right? Again, the purpose of this is not to be accurate. It's more like just find some way to be able to quantify the space infrastructure of Rocket Lab, and be in the ballpark, so that we have an idea that, okay, is it a $200 stock if the space infrastructure works out, or is it a $20 stock? So that was very important to me. And I modeled it out to 2035, and with these calculations, I got a 65%, basically $66 share price. And if you discount that and you're happy with 10%, 9% per year, then the stock is worth $25.59. And again, when I did this calculation, the stock price was $9.5. Boy, do I miss those times. And now we come to the point of the video. So the stock price is currently, as of market close today, I believe is 24 or 25 something. Let me see. 24.16. So that means that what is currently, the reason also why I wanted to do this video is because I see a lot of comments from, I guess, newer guys who are saying, this year Rocket Lab is going to go to 50, or, when Neutron launches, the stock is going to be $40. And I'm really sorry to say, but if the stock price would be $4 today, yes, if Neutron would successfully launch in 2025, you would probably see a doubling or tripling in the stock price. But because that doubling and tripling has already happened, I can tell you that the market is basically thinking that the Neutron launch is going to be a success. Neutron is going to get a lot of contracts, and Rocket Lab is going to be successful in their space infrastructure, and they're going to make a lot of money on their space infrastructure. And to be honest, I don't like to buy stocks when the full bull case is priced in. I mean, you do whatever you want to do, but I'm just pointing out that at this price, Rocket Lab's price is, if my assumptions and calculations are true, which they might not be, if you would buy Rocket Lab today, you would get a 9% return. So basically, you would be matching the S&P 500 returns. You wouldn't get any extra returns. But you're taking on a lot more risk, because if Neutron doesn't fly in 2025, or we don't get the Mars sample return mission, or certain things that really got priced in, they would hammer the stock. So what I would be doing if you're very interested in Rocket Lab is maybe wait for a pullback, which I think we're inevitably going to get. And again, I said this a lot on Rocket Lab Weekly, that the stock price of Rocket Lab can go down for factors that are independent of Rocket Lab. So for example, I believe that this most recent pullback that we have, we are getting because the economy is doing too good, and it looks like the Fed might not even decrease the interest rates anymore because the economy is doing so well. And that means, I kind of actually agree with this decision, however much I hate it at the same time. I hate high interest rates. But this means that in the future, should the economy go bad, the Fed has super many bullets in its barrel to stimulate back up the economy. So on the long term, it's very good that this is happening. It's actually super healthy, but I hate high interest rates. So I believe that we went from basically $30 down to 24 for factors that were independent of Rocket Lab. And there can come, I do believe that Trump 2.0, I don't know if it's just me or you guys have been saying the same thing, but He was crazy before. I mean, I like him, so it's not a criticism. I think that you do need a crazy guy that gets things done. But now he's like crazy on steroids and is talking about, like annexing Greenland and maybe using the military to take back Panama and, making Canada the 51st state. And if Canada doesn't play ball, then, he's going to sanction the hell out of them. And I think if I was Trump, I would do all the, we have a Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. I would do all these actions in year one, right? Because then you basically stir up a lot of shit. All the volatility, market fall, all the upsets come in year one, and then you make all the deals, and then you have 3 years for the people to get used to the new system and for the new systems to start working, the new tariff, the new trade agreements, the new investments to start coming in. And then by the time the 4 year is over, people don't remember like, oh, it was super shit in year one. They will remember that, okay, the last 3 years was amazing and the stock market was doing amazing and we're making so much more money. So this is why I think that this year is going to be a very turbulent year. So I personally would not be buying Rocket Lab at these levels. I'm a very long-term bull on Rocket Lab, so there's no way in hell I would be selling at these levels either. So that's not what I'm saying. If you are a very, very long-term investor and, meaning that you don't care that if you buy at these levels and, so the ideal investor for me is someone who, has higher income than expenses and they can, every month add to their stock portfolio. So if you're one of those investors and you know that, okay, if you're buying Rocket Lab at 25 now and when it dips, you're also going to be buying and then you will have a cost average that, lands wherever it lands. I don't think you're going to lose money on Rocket Lab. But if you're someone who is planning to make a big chunk of purchase and you're very worried that you have to outperform the market in the next 6 months, I'm not sure at these levels, Rocket Lab is the best place to put your money. On the long term, super bullish on the company, but there is so much priced into the stock at this current level that makes it a risky investment for me. Now, as for my cover calls, I don't think the stock price is going to be 15 in 2026. We play the game in Rocket Lab Weekly, where we basically bet what the stock price was going to be at year end. I said 30 because I have two versions in my head. One version is that everything goes really good and we go much higher from here, like we go to $45, $50. That would not surprise me, but it would also not surprise me that the stock goes down to 15 and chills out there for a little. And like Rocket Lab can do this if you look at the stock chart. Let me see if I have it. I mean, you can see that between 22 and 24, we had like 2 years of the stock just moving in a channel. And this can happen at this price level, that maybe we are going to stay between 30 and 20 until we have the next, whatever the market think is the catalyst of the market. So, it became a very long video. Let me know in the comments if you watched it to the end. I know some people are going to call me Vince is bearish and a Rocket Lab bear. It's 100% not the case. But on this channel, I always give it to you straight and just had to give you my thoughts. So let me know what you think. See you. Peace out. Make sure you sub. Ciao.